Good morning from Australia. We're back home. This is the Merry Monday Mailcall Show. It's Monday here in Australia, first thing. And it's probably Sunday where you are, but don't let that stop you. Welcome to the show. As I say, we're back. We've spent the last week and a half in the US checking out WonderCon and celebrating my first anniversary with my wonderful wife who joined me on the trip and was a fantastic support during the whole convention piece as well. So we've put a couple of videos up live already. So if you haven't checked those out, please do. We've got a great, very lengthy tour of WonderCon itself and the comic dealers. And I'll be doing a video on that hall. I've done a video on that hall already, but we also took a time to visit a whole bunch of LCSs whilst we were there as well. So that'll be coming soon. Whole bunch of content. We just did a cosplay video as well. If cosplay is your thing, check that out. Some really good comic book cosplay as well. So let's check the chat to see who's in on the journey with us today, welcoming us back. So we have Vincent. It's really good to see you as always. Welcome to the show. Richard, moderator extraordinaire and friend of the channel. How are you, sir? Great to have you too. Hope the trip was fun. Indeed it was. It was very, very relaxing, very nice to spend some time both with the comic book fans and also spend my anniversary with my wife back in Palm Springs, which was great. We have Mr. Akins from What's on the Comic Rack, another great YouTube channel. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Might be a couple of little treats in here for you, Mr. Akins. We'll see how we go. If you caught last week's, you would have seen the Alpha Flight John Burns signed issue. So hopefully that tickled your fancy. And who else do we have? Mad Spidey, Daylight Savings. Yes. Apologies to everyone. I think the show got scheduled at the sort of wrong time. So we've gone back to the 7:30 a.m. Australian Eastern time, which will be ongoing for this time. So this will be the new time slot. I think 5:30 on Eastern in the US and 2:30 in Pacific time. So yes, we had to correct that slightly, but thank you for pointing that out, Spidey. Great to see you. And who else do we have? Aussie Comic Dude is here. Great. Can't wait to see what it is. Me neither. I'm very excited to show. There's quite a stack today. I'm also going to be doing a mega members mail call show very soon. So let me just bring that up for you quickly. Let's find it. So if you haven't already, please consider joining the Price Variance, which is our membership, which we've just launched. We have a number of members here, as you can see. Simple Simon, Brian LCS, Easyverse New NYC, Mad Spidey, Deadman Comic Cover Show, Rob, Fat Stacks Comics, Omnibo, Canadian Survivalist, Cliff on Comics, Heroes for Hire Comic Club, Wayne Deacon, and Matt's Like Comics. The last 5 being our brand new members. So they'll be expecting, I think next week we're going to do this. I'm going to experiment with the new Mega Members Mail Call Show, where we'll be showing off some more expensive keys that I've managed to find and wanted to share those with members first, with a potential show after that. But members will get exclusive look at those. And then, of course, we've got our Back to the Drawing Board monthly sketch giveaway, which this time around, from memory, I think Brian LCS and Cliff on Comics won. So we'll be doing that the following week, post that. And then on top of that, we've got creator interviews. I've got one with Ken Landcraft, who is Bronze Age artist who did the first solo appearance or first solo story of Wolverine. So let's put that away, bring on the normal camera so everyone can see what goodies we have in store for you. Switch the camera mode as always. There we have it. All right, so a bit of a story behind these. Let me just go back to the comments quickly. Bob's here as well. Howdy doody. How are you, sir? And I think we have Brian in the house too. Where's Brian? There he is. Brian LCS is in the house as well. So that's great to see you all. I will chuck the link in as well if anyone wants to join for a chat. And join me as I go through these books, because some of these I got from, two sources. One is from John and Richard at Bronze and Modern Gods. I got some of these from John's claim sale recently, including the book that you can see here. as well as my usual favourites, Future Past vintage collectibles. So those are the selection of books that you're going to be seeing today. And as I say, it's a pretty big haul that I managed to pick up. There's a couple in there from West Coast Dave Engers as well that we missed out last time while I was in the US. So hopefully you enjoy these. Let me just chuck the link in for those of you who want to go in. Oh, what a chucker. There you go. Okay. So don't know too much about this one. It's a Fantastico reprint of Secret Wars issue 1, but that essentially a swipe of that Todd McFarlane cover. And I thought I recognized the artist, but I'm not too sure. I just bought this on a whim, basically because I quite liked the swipe that had been done here. Let me know what you think in the chat. We've got another guest to join us who can help me. Mad Spidey. This is right in your wheelhouse, isn't it?
that looks really nice, actually. Really nice.
Well, I saw it on the claim sale, and I was just like, I had to pick it up because I'll bring it in just a little closer so you can see it. Decent swipe, very detailed. So yeah, we'll see. Axe of Vengeance, the non-mutant version. So we'll see how we go. So that's the first one. I'll share with you some of the light touch books first and see what you think. I'll keep my eye on the chat. This one, I don't know why I bought this, but I did. His selling technique was great. This is from Bronze and Modern Gods again. Did you know that the Marvel published the Phantom in the 90s?
I was just looking at that top left corner and like, what is going on here?
Apparently, they did. They got the rights, or someone got the rights to do it. And the reason why this was so interesting to me, I'd never seen a Marvel Phantom book before. And apparently the art's pretty good. So I'm going to give that a go, have a look into it. But yeah, I thought that was an interesting pickup. Didn't cost me too much, but I thought let's at least have a look at it and see what it's like.
Because and that's a funny thing that you show a Phantom book, because growing up in Australia all my life, Phantom was the main comic you always saw at newsagents and things like that. Like, it was one of the major things, but it was different from the US ones and things like that because it was all newsprint paper. Like, until like literally recent times, it was actually quite a strong newsprint paper, but it was always that that rough sort of thing, even the cover. And anytime you'd find an old antique bookstore or something like that, there'd always be a stack of Phantoms.
A stack of Phantoms.
And there'd always be those newsprint things. But yeah, like it's part of our history. We've had Phantom here for the longest of time, probably one of the mainstays, actually, before the US, market really, invaded over here pretty much. But yeah, very, very cool. Never knew about a Marvel one though.
Never knew about it either. This is why, and I quite like the fact, if you look at this, it's a swipe of Hulk 340 as well.
Surprise, surprise.
So, I mean, the first two issues are somewhat swipey versions of the covers. I picked up a Marvel Age Bill Sienkiewicz from cover here.
I've never seen that.
This is the reason. I mean, again, I picked up two of these by accident, not realizing I'd already got this. But still love this cover because this is one of the Dire Wraiths. So this is obviously the Rom comic. So it's a preview of the Wraith War in the Rom comic book series. So wanted to grab this because, as you know, I'm a massive Rom fan. So
that's probably why I didn't recognize the character on the front, because I don't own any Rom comics and it's not really my thing.
Rom is if you haven't, honestly, Spidey, if you haven't got into Rom, you should give it a look, because Rom is ran for 75 issues, I think, and 4 annuals from memory. I'm planning to do a video at some point on the entire run, because it's a fabulous run. And the problem is with him, he's never going to come to the movies because he's stuck in rights issues with Hasbro. So Hasbro own the rights to Rom, and so therefore, but the problem is the Dire Wraiths are owned by Marvel. So Bill Mantlo created this whole storyline, created the Dire Wraiths. So the Dire Wraiths can be used ad infinitum in Marvel stuff, but ROM cannot be used. Space Knights can be used, so all the other Space Knights in the comic, but not ROM.
Oh,
so it's one of those weird books.
Yeah, like if I was going to pick up one, I might pick up a number 1 just to say I've got the number 1. But yeah, I collect so many runs, I don't need to start another one.
I think number 1. I'd have to go back in my collection. I think number 1 has got a cover by, I think it's Alpha Flight. I think, but I'd need to double check. But I could be mistaken. I think that one of the early issues is a Alpha Flight John Byrne cover. So speaking of which. What's on the cover right? Very cool Marvel Age cover. Just picked up 2 Marvel Ages myself with John Byrne covers that I did not have, which probably that Alpha Flight is one of them, I would assume.
I think I have is it the number 1 with Sauron on the front?
Might be Crystar or something like that. I'm trying to think. I
have an early one with like Sauron on the front. It's like might be number 1 and number 2 or something like that, I think.
But I just love picking them up because I'm trying to complete the Marvel Age run, particularly the early issues, because they're always just a nice little slap. And you get previews of, Beta Ray Bill, Toxic Avenger, that type of thing. And then you get these sort of obscure ones. So not sure what this is for. Look at Epix Comics Starstruck, which didn't really go anywhere, as you can see. And then a preview of Conan. But again, I'll pick these up whenever I see them, especially when they're high grade. This was from both of these 2 were from Future Past Vintage Collectibles, which again, if you haven't checked out their claim sales, they just do high grade, really high grade books, and their grading is spot on. So
I was thinking of Fanfare. I've got another first Fanfare.
Yes, that's that one. This one again is from Future Past Vintage Collectibles. Thought I'd pick this one up. This is no Bronze Age goodness. John Carter, Warlord of Mars, issue 1. So I think that's Gil Kane cover and Dave Cockrum on inks on there for you.
Limited edition post-it note.
It is. It's still on there. But yeah, this is a near mint again. It's hard to find these books in that sort of grade. So that's why I sort of pick these up when I see them. And I got the still only 35 cents issues of these. And I thought it would be just nice to have issue 1 to go with it as well. So that's that one.
And another Marvel book that I can't collect every series.
No. Well, you can, but it's you just have to
I don't have that kind of funds.
This one again, I love this because this is part of that Walt Simonson run. Again, super high grade, issue 335 of Fantastic Four. Have you read the Walt Simonson Fantastic Four run?
I have, like when I used to read, I have read a lot of the older FF stuff, but more from the mid to late 80s to early 90s. So when Malice was around and the Infinity War stuff and things like the doppelgangers and I read a lot of that sort of stuff, but I did read a little bit early, but not the Walt Simonson stuff. No, I probably have a few issues, but
I think you do because it would sit in that mid range because the John you sounds like when you got Malice, that might have been
Malice.
So the original Malice was the original Malice was John Byrne, and then they brought her back again. I think it was around this period, so you might have a couple of these. Mr. Aitken showing Walt Simonson love there, yes. If you like your Walt Simonson, we've got a little bit more for you here as well. 336. So again, part of that Acts of Vengeance.
Acts of Vengeance, with Cap and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, they crossed over quite a few titles.
But I just love the way Walt Simonson played with the covers. They were sort of jokey, but not jokey. He was, I'm a massive fan of his art and his work. I loved his Thor run. So having him do Fantastic Four as well, and just having, I think it was 10 or 15, something in between that sort of number where he ran and did it and introduced the Time Variance Authority. So we've got him to blame for Marvel at the moment.
Good old TVA.
Good old TVA. How about this one?
Oh, Darkman.
Bit of Darkman. I saw this. I loved that movie back in. I think it's.
I have not watched that in the longest of time.
Such a good movie. And what is it again? Take the bunny.
I don't think I've seen it in probably 20 years or more, at least.
It's such a good movie. It's such a good movie. And
I
Sam Raimi as well.
I love the McFarlane Spidey corner box there.
In the corner, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, super happy to pick that one up. I'll see if I can pick up the other two just to finish the run. But just when I saw
a limited series, obviously.
3-issue limited series, yeah. So wanted to pick it up. And again, I look, the art's fantastic. Yeah, just again, I love picking up these little short runs. And you know, this is the first appearance, I would assume, of Darkman in comics. So, you know, hold on to your horses. It could be, if you ever bring Darkman back, which I'd love to see.
Well, they're revamping everything else, so why not?
Yeah, and that was some Future Past Vintage Collectibles. This is also from Future Past Vintage Collectibles. And this was a pure cover buy. I'm not really into Toxic Avenger. I've got his first appearance, but something about this cover screamed out at me.
I have seen that cover before. Yeah.
Say hi to all the millions of Toxic Avenger fans out there. I don't know which smells worse, him or my diaper. So issue 3, photo cover, absolutely fabulous. I know that we've got the Peter Dinklage movie coming soon. So I just, again, bit of an impulse purchase. Didn't pay too much for it. Decent condition. And again, with that sort of black cover, it's going to be, you know, tough one to get in high grade. So just pick that one up.
Marvel loved their photo covers in the 80s. There was every series pretty much at least had one or two. And I remember the Spider-Man one, I think it's like in the 260s or something like that. And it just looks so corny. Like it literally is just standing there in an old barn or something like that. And I'm just like, what is this?
Yeah, the Dazzler one makes me laugh the most because it's a person standing up. You don't see the face. And then they've just put spotlights behind both of us.
I think I vaguely remember that one. I don't own it, but I think I have seen it.
But I did love that Peter Parker one. I liked the Peter Parker one where he's taking his mask off and someone snaps him with the photo. That one's good. And then they've got this cheesy one of Spidey and Captain America, which is terrible.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
we'll leave that alone.
I do love the photo covers. Mr. Akins, lol. Now I have to get this book. You do. I think this book, Toxic Avenger with a baby with sunglasses, is probably missing in everyone's collection, right? So let's go out and get Toxic Avenger issue 3. This one was Future Past Vintage Collectibles. Now, I'm trying to complete the Marvel 2-in-1 run as well, featuring the Thing, and saw this come up. This is the first appearance of the cosmic might of Star Dancer. So, super mega key there for you, folks. I wanted to grab that because obviously for the Star Dancer appearance, not to complete the run. And we do get Blue Diamond as well. So
yeah, we're actually talking about on Spidey's app. We're actually talking about the team ups and the 2-in-1s, and everybody's saying to me I should start collecting some of the team up books.
Yes,
I have a few 2-in-1s and a few team ups, but yeah, I think if I was going to go for one, I think the team ups would be. I think that's a better run for me personally. Anyway, a lot of variety.
I started with team up. Just give me 1 second, sorry. I started with team up, but basically, what ended up happening is I just love the Thing, so I had to pick that up as well.
What's going on, Tate? Hope you're doing well, brother.
Yeah, I had to pick it up because, and then I just decided, right, I might as well finish both runs. Because there are a number of keys that are always problematic. So
that's the other thing in the team up books. I know there's a Captain Britain key in there somewhere, isn't there? There's like first in American Comics or something, and there's first Mockingbird, and there's a few sort of keys in there, and I think I might get into it a little bit.
You should give it a go. I've got a load if you need some, so we can at least. I've got a few of those, so it can get you started at the very least.
I have I think about 10 issues. I think.
There's Tate, and he loves bad photo covers. That is not a bad photo cover, Tate. I hate to say it. That's probably one of the best. If I've seen photo covers in the past, and that one takes the cake. It's phenomenal. So you can keep your You can keep your Spideys. I'll take my Toxic Avenger any day. Speaking of still only 35 cents variants.
Where's Rob? Rob loves his Shogun Warriors.
Shogun Warriors. So I think I've got issue 1. This is super high grade. This is like, I think it's like 9.6. I got this from John from Bronze and Modern Gods on one of his time sales. And as soon as I saw, because I didn't have this, I was like, right, I have to grab that. Grab Shogun Warriors whenever I can, especially the still only 35-cent ones as well. So
I'm actually surprised I don't have a number 1 of that either.
Yeah, it got pretty pricey, I think, at some point. Not sure what's going to happen with Shogun Warriors. I loved them as a concept.
Well, being an anime fan, you'd think I would have a number 1, wouldn't you? But no,
yes.
No, I don't actually, surprisingly. Maybe I'll win one out of the best giveaway box on YouTube.
You probably will. Staying with the still only 35 cents. Who was this one? This was Future Past Vintage Collectibles. Spider-Woman issue 10. Nice.
I love the old Spider-Woman Bronze Age run. Yeah, I need to get back into that too. It's a great run. It is. A lot of people don't like it. It's very underrated, but I actually really like it.
And relatively short as well, which is a good one, right?
It's only 50 issues or something, I think.
Yeah, it's pretty short-lived, and I think Claremont takes over it at the end as well. So for the most part, you had Carmen Infantino art. So you've got that obviously on here. I think Bob McLeod's inking him. But yeah, lovely to be able to pick that up. There's a number of Marvels here for you. So this is probably your bag a lot. Supervillain Team Up. These
are cool books too.
Talking of Submariner, because Tate mentioned Submariner's photo cover. It's fantastic and terrible at the same time. Well, it's not really a photo cover though. It's like the cityscape and just John Buscema Submariner flying over the crop. Yeah,
because people know I'm going after a Submariner run. I might have that cover possibly.
Yeah, maybe dig it out. Spider-Woman had a photo cover as well. I will have to look into that. I can't remember that.
No, I do not remember a Spider-Woman one.
I'll have to have a look. But no, that's interesting. Yeah, again, my Spider-Woman run is, I'm really only focusing on the early issues, the Werewolf by Night issues, which I think there was 2, and they're still only 35 cents at the moment. But slowly but surely, it's sort of growing without me even trying. So, we'll see how we go.
Don't say that because I'm still struggling to finish my run. I still need 10 issues left, I think, for my Werewolf run.
Oh, this is not from. There's 2 issues in Spider-Woman that feature Werewolf by Night, and the one is.
I thought you meant the actual Werewolf by Night.
No. So Supervillain Team Up issue 2, Gil Kane cover. You can tell it's a Gil Kane cover because you can see up Namor's nose.
I like the black suit. A lot of people hate it. I actually like it.
Well, at least it covers him up.
I'm not fussed about that. I don't know. It's just something different from just having the Speedos on. You know,
that's my point. I mean, you know, maybe it's because you're Australian, you appreciate the Speedos, man.
But I like the black suit. Like that's when he turned into Savage Submariner when he went to the black suit.
Yeah. Well, it's great. I mean, I'm picking these up whenever I can. Again, this was from Bronze and Modern Gods. But yeah, I'm just picking them up as and when I go because I just think underrated run this is, especially when you've got all the Doom spec.
Another short run too, so
yeah,
fairly easy to collect as well.
Exactly. This one's an interesting one. Steve Ditko art, Marvel Spotlight and Captain Universe issue 10. So the original Captain Universe, I think, was male. This is obviously a female version. So I haven't read this. I will be cracking it open and having a look. But yeah, looking forward to that one. I think that's actually, I've just remembered the Spider-Woman photo covers. Well, I guess I like collage covers. That's true. But the Spider-Woman photo cover, I think that Mr. Aitken was talking about is the Werewolf by Night one because it's got Werewolf by Night attacking Spider-Woman.
Yeah, in the background. Comment further down.
Oh, there you go then. Spider-Woman photo had Werewolf by Night on the cover along with other horror characters. Spider-Woman 50. Yeah, I think that's the. I think that's the one. So there you go. Bit of Steve Ditko there. drawing. I just love like that pose is a bit weird, isn't it?
Yeah, or maybe they're prepping when Spidey takes over the suit or the entity, whatever you'd like to sort of call.
Yeah. So that's that one. Bit of horror for you.
Oh.
The supernatural thriller featuring the Living Mummy, issue 7.
That's a beautiful cover.
I thought you'd like that.
I'm sticking to me werewolf for me too, but I'm dabbling a little bit in the other stuff, but not too much.
Because I've completed the Dracula and werewolf. This is now on the list.
Because they did an actual Living Mummy run and the supernatural thrillers, I think.
Yeah, it's very similar to what happened. Most of the titles, what they ended up doing, I think Werewolf by Night started like this, right? Marvel Spotlight then moved into its own title. This is the same sort of thing. I think, who was the other one that did that? Son of Satan.
Because he was in Spotlight. Yeah, and then he went to his own. Yeah, I'd love to pick up. I love Damon Hellstrom. I need to pick up some more of his books too.
Well, you might be in for a treat because I might have something here. So that's my Living Mummy, issue 7.
Oh, I have the photo cover.
Oh, which one?
The Spider-Woman 32.
Oh, 32. That's the one I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually have that one.
Let me make it. Yeah, that's the one. It's beautiful, that cover. I think I have it, but it's low grade. I need it really high. I want it high, super high grade because it's a great cover.
One of the few Spider-Woman books I actually have.
That's a great one.
I like that too. Don't get me started on another horror series. I might have to get into the Living Mummy series.
You're gonna have to get these. The covers alone are fantastic, and at some point I'll do a deep dive on and actually crack open some of the books. But mate, the covers are fantastic. Look at that.
I need to look at. I'll have a look at my CLZ for supernatural thrillers now. See if I've got any.
Yeah. So that's issue 11. Again, great cover. Frank Bruner.
I love Frank Bruner art. Like his Doctor Strange art is gorgeous.
But it's beautiful. Again, look, beautiful looking copy. And then to close us off on the Living Mummy, got issue 14. And again, just the covers on these Bronze Age horror titles from Marvel are just fantastic.
That's a bit more comic-y opposed to the other ones, I think, but still a really nice cover.
Well, that Bruner one is just stunning, isn't it?
Supernatural thrillers. I only have number 1, surprisingly.
Number 1.
The big
who's in number 1?
Yeah, the It cover.
Oh yes, I have that one. Hang on, let me bring that up so everyone can see it. Yeah, I've got that one. That's a good cover.
I actually picked that up as just on a whim in one of my deals from Mr. Michael Broncos out of the
nice
Australian Facebook groups. I'm just like, I love that cover. I need to pick that up.
Let's have a look at this. So, Mr. Akins, the photo on the cover was taken by Elliot R. Brown in the alley behind Marvel, artist Bob Camp's loft in New York. Spider-Man was played by Marvel secretary Lynn Luckman. Other models being Vincent Waller as the Enforcer, Bob Sharon as Werewolf by Night, and Michael Carlin as the Needle. Wow,
very cool.
I have to do that. That must be the Spider-Woman 50 one. So, what else is it? He's gone well deep. He's been digging in the internet. Mark Grunwald's Tata Demolion. Belinda Grunwald, Mark's wife, as Gypsy Moth. Wow. Okay. I will dig that one out. I think you piqued my interest. Talking of Son of Satan.
Oh, I need to get more of these. I really do.
Yeah, this is again from Bronze and Modern Gods. Yeah. Issue 21. Great cover there.
I have a few spatterings of the Spotlight and the Son of Satan runs. I need to get some more. I really do.
Yeah.
I love these, but I love these books.
Issue 23 with the Trog. Not sure if it's his first appearance, but yeah, pretty. I'm gonna really upset you now, though, Spidey.
Oh no.
Bit of Firelord action on
I have his first appearance now. I'm happy.
Yeah,
it took me a while, but I got it.
Yeah, well, that one, the cover on this is fantastic. So
he's one of my favorite. Him and Terax are actually one of my favorite Galactus heralds. They're so underrated.
I'd love to see how the Fantastic Four movie is going to play out. I'm getting a bit more and more nervous as it gets closer. I just don't know if they're going to handle it right.
Yeah, I'm worried about Silver Surfer. I really am.
Yeah, me too. All right, what else do we have on the mix? Let's have a look. I'm going to have to go DC just for a little bit, mate.
That's all right. No.
Just for a little bit.
Your show. I still appreciate art regardless.
Justice League of America. And the reason why I picked these up, I'm picking up the whole run of this, right? Because I actually collected this back in the 80s. So what's this say?
Mjolnir looks like a pack of Lucky Strikes.
Pack of Lucky Strikes. Yeah, somewhat. But these are good because they're Adam Hughes covers, early Adam Hughes covers.
Oh, okay.
So picked up these three. So I picked up issue 38, issue 39, and
this is the 80s run.
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, before I purged my DC books and gave them all to Simple Simon, I actually had a small stack of Justice League America and Justice League Europe books in there.
Oh, I did show off my Justice League International book last week as well. The two first real Lobos appearances. But yeah, this issue 41 as well. So yeah, just wanted to grab these because of these Adam Hughes covers, which are not a lot of people are aware that he did those. So I might take these if he's doing signings, etc. I might take these and just get them done. So I think that's
he'd probably like that actually, because so many people just take the Titty books to get signed and the Catwoman books and Zatanna and stuff. So to see his old work, he'd probably enjoy that actually. Yeah,
exactly. That's what I thought. Got this on a whim from Dave at West Coast Avengers. This is the 1965 Famous Monsters of Filmland 1965 yearbook.
That is really cool.
Nice looking cover, right? So again, it was a pure cover buy. Love my horror. So I'll probably wheel this out during the month of October and showcase it. It's not anything I'd ever grade, but just great to put in my magazine monsters.
Is that a square bound or?
It's a magazine size. It's not square. Oh, it's square-ish, right? But
it's just because it's extra big and thick. And
in fact, let's take it out and show just what's inside. So it's jeez. It's just pretty good.
Yeah,
I love all this classic old horror.
That is super nice.
Get a great article on the Thing here. Look at that.
That looks, that's stunning.
So yeah, and Gorgo. Here's one for Market Legion of Comics. Look at that. So that's why I buy these, because they're just a nice snapshot of history when it comes to sort of these monster books, right? All right, let's pop that back in just quickly. Don't want to get any sticky on it. Got a copy of, I'm picking up my Eries and my Creepies as we go. So yeah, this is a sort of late issue. I think this is one of the few I've seen with a color story inside. So again, just pick these up whenever I can. Wasn't too expensive, but just a nice little copy to add. And then we'll quickly go through these because these are sort of interesting ones. I'm completing my Love and Rocket's first 50 issues run. And Dave at West Coast Avengers had a whole host of them in either sort of like near mint grade and above. So just picking these up. So this is issue 17, issue 18, 19, 21. I mean, the covers are fantastic, right?
It's too early in the morning for that kind of trippiness.
Great. 20. No, is this 24 or 34? 34. Issue 34.
They're very sort of like pulpish.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
like yeah.
So I just it's if you haven't read it, it's a great series. It's a hard one to find the trades the way they work. Like I ended up buying this massive first 50 issues box set, which had them in order, but they the way they collect it in the floppy versions of the sort of trades is by storyline rather than necessarily the issues concurrently. So I'd rather read them the way they came out. So that was why I went with that. But it's a bit of a tricky one.
They loving rockets over here. Not that I go looking for them, but you don't see it very often over here.
You don't exactly. You don't. I've seen it at a comic convention here once or twice. That's it. Like that's issue 41, issue 42, issue 43. Just the covers are just fantastic, right? Issue 44.
I thought that was Nancy for a second then.
Issue 45. Issue 46. 47.
No.
48. And 49, but no 50. So I'm pretty much there. I'm missing probably about 3 or 4 issues now to complete the run. So there's almost the first 50 issues run of Love and Rockets completed. So very happy to get that. And I'm glad you're on the stream, Spotty, because I do have a piece at the end to show you, which we were talking about in one of your shows. Before we get to that, I managed to pick up the first appearance of the new costume of Captain Britain, issue 377 of Marvel's Superheroes. So this is when Captain Britain came back post the 1970s. This is the first Alan Davis art on Captain Britain, who he became synonymous with. And I'll find you the story in a second.
Yeah, I'm still because I was introduced to Captain Britain in that costume, not in the other one with the scepter and stuff like that. So that's my sort of Captain Britain. Yeah,
well, this is the Captain Britain that I grew up on the original Captain Britain.
Yeah, the one with the scepter and that. Yeah,
but I loved what Alan Moore and Alan Davis did with him, and I think that's it's one of those where someone reinvents it to the point where you go, well, actually, I prefer this version, even though I loved the original.
Yeah,
and you can see here, this is where he starts off in his old costume and then transitions as he goes through the multiverse to the new outfit. And this is where you see the first appearance of Mad Jim Jaspers. But, you can really tell as well, Alan Davis's art is very early in the days of his work. And he didn't know, he wasn't a professional artist. So he was sort of learning as he went. So it's amazing that he's got to where he is today in terms of like just how he's improved, even over the course of like a couple of years when he was drawing for Marvel. But you can sort of you get a real sense of, this is his early work. So, but it's just good to have this first appearance of the new costume. So
yeah, no, as I said, that's my Captain Britain. So
yeah,
I think I actually have a Bowen statue of Captain Britain somewhere too.
Nice. No, I keep meaning to, but I haven't got around to that yet. Here's one for you. Wheelie and the Chopper Bunch, number 4. If Mr. Aitken's still in the chat, I think this could be another John Byrne. John Byrne did some early work. It's definitely Joe Staton on the art. But I do believe issue 2 features John Byrne art. But these are so hard to find in any type of grade. But I don't think this is John Byrne art this time around.
It doesn't. Yeah, it's too cartoony for him.
No, but he did draw it exactly like this. But great. Just great to pick up. Again, I've got issue 2, so I thought I may as well short run. And I'm really into picking up these Hanna-Barbera books at the moment. So
it's like Beetlejuice. As soon as you say John Byrne,
did someone say John Byrne? Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. I think Mr. Aiken and I are deliberately hunting for the same books.
Have you ever spoken to Royd about John Byrne?
I haven't. I haven't.
He's been to John Byrne's house.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, there's photos of him in his studio and things like that, looking through his original art and stuff. Like, he's got some great stories. If you ever get a chance, definitely worth it.
Yeah, mate, I've got one for your missus.
Oh, First Angela.
Yeah, First Angela, Spawn issue 9. Picked that up from Bronze and Modern Gods. Again, I have a copy of this bit beat up, which I won from Simple Simon. So
yeah, you know why? Because I gave him all my Spawn comics because he wanted number 1, and there was a number 9 in there as well with a few other spatterings. So, like, mine were a lot higher grade than what his was.
Yeah, so I wanted to get a high grade copy of this, so I've got one now. Again, with her in the Marvel universe as well, I just thought, look, it's a great cover, and again, I just wanted to own that. And then I love this cover, and so I wanted this one because of the wanted to grab.
You do realize the Australian version of this is actually a different number.
Really?
It's actually number, I think it's either 8 or 9. And it's actually quite hard to find.
Oh, I'll have to have a look. So, yeah. So, look, Dave Sims Cerebus, regardless of how he turned out at the end in terms of just his personal beliefs, I do think the early part of the run of Cerebus is fantastic. It's one of those weird books that I've got a stack of them, which nobody ever seems to want to buy when I go to the comic conventions. It's almost as if no one it's a real sort of comic collector's book. But yeah, I just love this way that they've introduced color and which is classic Cerebus color. So thought that was a good one to pick up.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, because Beck's been collecting it since the start, so she's got the entire run. It's just the really hard to find variants.
Yeah.
That she's trying, because she's trying to get every cover of the Spawn run, and yeah, it's not easy.
These next few are a little bit. I bought them again on a whim. I'm slowly but surely getting my DC stuff sorted. I thought this would be good, getting a Superman and Flash race story. Got this from Bronze and Modern Gods. Didn't cost too much. I think there'll be another book coming soon in one of my videos. There's a new Treasury that is reprints a lot of the sort of races. Superman versus the Flash. So
they classify them as keys. Like the Flash Superman races are actually keys as because of that. Because there's like 5 or 6 of them.
Yeah. Then I got another DC Comics Presents. So that's DC Comics Presents issue 1. Part of the reason why I bought that because it's an issue 1 as well. And then I can't remember why I bought this, but I just bought it because of the cover bar.
I like the cover on that. That looks nice.
Yeah, Superman versus Starman versus Mongol the Merciless. So thought that would be nice.
Yeah, I like that. I like the face. I always like a good floating head cover.
Yep.
It's not really floating head, but yeah, you know what I mean.
Then I got Vigilante issue 1. With Pollard art. And goes with Vigilante 1, Vigilante number 2, and Vigilante number 3. So I thought that was good. Also picked up issue 276 of The Amazing World of Superman against Shazam. Thought, again, another interesting buy. Picked that one up. This one's for Cliff on Comics. Bit of Legion for you, Legion of Superheroes. Anniversary issue 300. Again, based on his recommendation, I thought it'd be good to pick that up. And then I've got another one of these already. I've doubled up on this, but I'm always going to be picking up Jack Kirby. So first issue special, issue 1 from DC, introducing Atlas, classic Jack Kirby book. So
that good old square head.
Yeah, exactly. So super happy to grab those. This is interesting. I'm going to take it out of the bag so you can see it. picked up Bill Sienkiewicz's The Undead series, Vampires 2. So a whole bunch of, one of them is signed. So you get these 6 plates.
I have never seen this before.
Beautiful, right? I think this is, there are only 1,500 copies. This is 1,380. But classic Bill Sienkiewicz art. Just wonderful illustrations. I thought this is good for my art pieces. But I just love Bill Sienkiewicz's art. And some people hate it. Some people, like me, love it.
I should have taken the opportunity. I had the opportunity to get a commission from Bill at one point, and I just didn't have the money at the time. I should have taken it up. I should have worked it out somehow.
But
I love his art.
I love his art. And so, yeah, super happy to pick that up. Really quite reasonably affordable as well. And I do love these portfolios when you can grab them. So thought that would be a good one to share with you. So happy with that.
Yeah, and I love Bill's art.
Yep. Let me pop this back in. And then a few more little things to share with you. This was a nice surprise. So I got this. So I've been collecting San Diego Comic-Con early programs. And Gary Sassaman from Tales from My Spinner Rack very kindly brought me one of the books that because he was running San Diego Comic-Con in terms of like producing these books. So he very, very kindly brought me this one, knowing full well he did a panel at WonderCon last week, all about Fantastic Four, and he had Mark Evanier, so he was talking about Jack Kirby. So it was brilliant. This book features so many different stories about Jack Kirby and the history of Jack Kirby. So it's such a great San Diego Comic-Con souvenir book to have, and to get it from Gary, it was just such a wonderful gift. So thank you, Gary. I do appreciate it very, very much. I have been poring over this thing. So yeah, if you're into Jack Kirby, that's a great book to get. And it's got Bruce Timm cover, which is a cover swipe as well. I can't remember the original book offhand, but there's an interesting article in there about the creation of the artwork as well. So yeah,
that's gorgeous. Yeah, no, I like that. I remember, you're showing that a week ago or something. No, you showed it, I think, on your when you did your live from the hotel room.
Oh yeah. But again, I'm super chuffed because I've just been reading. I was reading on the plane. Just love going through it, and it's just rammed full. Like, it's a thick book, right? And I was expecting it's normally these convention programs don't really have
pages.
Yeah, this is just, it's pure Jack Kirby all the way through. So fantastic. Did I show this before?
No, I don't remember. I don't remember you showing that.
So if you're a fan of Judge Dredd, this is when the Judge Dredd role-playing game got released. And White Dwarf was a magazine published back in the 80s by Games Workshop. So White Dwarf, originally Games Workshop was basically distributing Dungeons and Dragons. Basically anything in the UK, any role-playing game came through Games Workshop, right? And then they lost the license to distribute. And essentially then that's when they became Games Workshop that you know today, right? Where they were just promoting their own game systems and their own figures. But originally they were producing everything, right? And so they would use White Dwarf, the magazine, to do modules, things like that, rule changes, but then also promote figures and new role-playing games. So you get to see this month they were talking about Judge Dredd and introducing Judge Dredd. So you can see here, let's just move to, you got the Judge Dredd miniatures. So they were crossing over with IPC and doing a big promotion of 2000 AD as well. You could get Judge Death and Judge Dredd candles, Judge Dredd badge, miniatures. And then they had obviously detail from Ian Livingston, was part of Games Workshop at the beginning, on how they created the game. But it's got that awesome Brian Bolland cover, which was originally featured on Time Out magazine. I think it's only ever appeared on these 2 issues. And so that's why I wanted to pick it up a bit. I'm a bit of a role-playing fan, as you know, but this was like the perfect mix of my fascination with Judge Dredd, fascination with Brian Bolland, and role-playing games. So just was a no-brainer pickup. And just, you know, what year is it from? Let's have a quick look.
Looks like an 80s, early 80s.
Early 80s, yeah. Where's the date on this? 1982. So yeah, 1982. Hard to find even in any decent grade these as well. So happy to pick that one up. And then I'll move these out the wayside because I want to get your view on these. Remember I talked to you about this original art? These cells that I bought?
Yep.
I've got both of them. And I showed them in the stream, but I didn't get a chance to go through them in detail. So let's cover this off. Now, the reason why I bought these is, as you know, I'm a huge Captain Britain fan. And so these made a lot of sense. So this is a cell supposedly from the original Phoenix Saga, X-Men Phoenix Saga from 1994. There's your certificate of authenticity. Production cell from the Marvel Studios animated series X-Men 92 to 97, featuring side profile of Captain Britain as he is alerted by the signal of the Phoenix. Hand-painted cell, which was created at the studio and used in the animation process. Cell is an actual frame of the animation. It was photographed and appears in Season 3 entitled The Phoenix Saga Part 4, The Starjammers, which aired September 8th, 1994. Captain Britain makes this one extremely brief cameo in the entire series. Measuring 10 by 5 times 12.5 inches overall. Character image, including the effect layer. Cell is in very good condition with minor surface wear and light line wear and backing paper stuck to reverse. The cell is paired with a color copy reproduction of the background for representation purposes.
Okay, so yeah, it's not the original then. Yeah, because the original will have a hand painted
you'd have the background.
So it's a reproduction, but obviously they've gotten somehow, because I said the originals will actually have a Marvel circular stamp on them.
So what are these though then?
I'd say they must have somehow. Yeah, and as I said, it is extremely hard in this market, like extremely hard. It looks like it must be some kind of limited, but I don't see any sort of numbered system.
I think this is so. My understanding I'm going to follow up with them, right? But the way they've written this is, it feels to me like you haven't got the background cell. Like the background cell was
the background will be is a hand painted background. So
yes.
It will quite often, so that's obviously just some sort of photostated reproduction of some kind.
Yes.
So maybe the background might have been destroyed. Maybe they got the original cell part itself,
correct,
the acetate thing, and then did so that. Maybe that's why it's sort of original, sort of not. So because I
think they wouldn't. They're not. I mean, looking at their website, they're reasonably reputable, right?
Yeah.
They're not a like fly by night. I think that this is probably the original cell, because you can see at the background here, right?
Yeah, so it's
just missing. Now all I need to do is find that original background itself, if it's not been destroyed, to your point. Because it feels like that's the two go side by side, right? So
yeah, as I like when we were talking about it a couple of weeks ago, it is a very, very tricky market to navigate. Very, very tricky, because there's so many rip-offs, so many reproductions. Like some are very professional. You would not even know the difference.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, to all sort of looking at it from this camera angle, yeah, the cell itself looks original. But yeah, that background is just it's
the background is the problem, but I think the cells are right. I think the cells are correct. So I'll just keep on the lookout, see what I can find. But
I need to dig out my. But the only problem with all my cells are they're all framed. Yeah. All mine are professionally framed, so it's a bit hard to sort of show you the separation and things like that. But yeah, I think that might be the case. They may have somehow gotten the original cells. The original master backgrounds were destroyed because that was the time in the 90s. That was the transition from physical hand painted backgrounds and cells to digital.
But still,
so the digital, like obviously they did a lot of reproductions of the digital stuff, which is just limited edition stuff. Still, they'll still be officially stamped or marked, but the the hand painted stuff was it's very tricky, as I said, to navigate.
Yeah. I'll see if I can dig it out. All right, mate. Let me turn this off now and bring us both up to the main stage. Thanks for joining, mate. It's been fun. That's your lot for today. It was a pretty big stack. So yeah, if you leave a comment down below, let me know what you thought of that. We're going to finish the stream here today. So if you can, click onto our mate Spidey's stream here as well. Give him a sub while you're at it.
Hit the thumbs up while you're there.
There he is. And thank you all for joining the show, chat. You've been fantastic as always. We're going to leave you now for our Monday. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday if you're in the rest of the world. And we'll see you soon. Take care, everyone. See you in a bit.